Hello everybody, we're going into some FFBE news for the week, and it's a big one. We got FF6 coming back again, with Celes being the main offering there, as well as a couple of 7-star units. And then there is a letter from the operations team that we're going to be reading, and then otherwise there's some good login bonuses to look at too. So, I mean, it's a pretty exciting week. Let's start off with the banner, and there she is, Triumphant General Celes, as well as the Yeti of Narsh Umaro and Moogle of Narsh Mog. This banner is crazy. I want these units so badly, purely for nostalgia, and I know that these are 7 stars and that she's a magic tank, and I already have Fina and Daisy, so what am I doing? But I'll have to resist the urge to be pulling on this for sure. So anyway, we're gonna get the premium summon, but it's awesome because again, we're getting all of these special tickets again. So we're gonna get your usual summon coin, we're gonna get the pity ticket, and then of course we're gonna get the 5th anniversary after party exchange ticket, which you can exchange back for Lapis and kind of get a savings on the banner as a whole. So that's all really nice. And there's going to be some Trust Masters and stuff that's all exchangeable in the summon shop. But again, you can use summon coins once again for unit fragments. So that's just really great anyway. So, and then they're doing the festival summon where you get that free summon every 4th summon. It's definitely very, very friendly and appreciated. I like that a lot. So very, very cool. Okay. So Celes is a magic tank in her base form, and then she's a supporter, and look at that. Look at the Brave Shift. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then she gets the True Brave Shift. Her Super Trust Master is really cool, the Lightbringer, and it's for FF6 units only, but it gives a bunch of attack magic and spirit, plus it has a 50% LB damage buff, plus a flat stat boost 250 to spirit and magic and attack, and then 30% chance of evading some physical and magic attacks. So obviously this will fit your supporting FF6 units, your attacking support, or your magic, whatever, everybody. So that's cool. And then the TMR is just an MP and spirit boost, but also a physical and magical damage killer for aquatic monsters. So the fact that we get some killers on a TMR, you can't really say no to that. If you need some killers, you need some killers. So it's a good way to go. And then we'll look more at the vision card in a minute once we get to that item of the news. But otherwise, you just see that we have magic tanking skills here. And then when she goes into Brave Shift, it's going to be a ice supporter with some buffs and some amps and stuff, as well as some imbues. So really, units are really compressed at this point. They're just doing it all. So it's great to see that for ice. And if you have ice units that you want to use in the future, or you want to just turn your units that have an imbuable attack into ice units, then boom, there you go. Celes is going to do that for you. Okay, then we have Yeti of Narsh Umaro, who is a 7-star attacker. And with these units, you can unit of choice them later. So really what we're looking at is the STMR, because he's not going to be a crazy attacker. But the Blizzard Orb from Final Fantasy VI, so cool. Give you some resist to fire and to ice. It's going to give you some attack, like not a bad amount of attack. And then it has a chance of nullifying instant KOs, and as well as countering when receiving a physical or magical attack. And then Yeti combat style is going to make your regular attack hit 2 times. I think we have multiple ways to do that now, which is very cool. And then otherwise he just has some ways to deal damage, including he's going to inflict Berserk on himself, which is from the game, of course. But if you equip the Blizzard Orb to him in the game, then you don't get Berserked, right? So I don't know if that happens here. Okay, then we have Moogle of Narsh Mog, and he is the Impartisan, which is a 2-handed spear, very cool looking, and it doesn't have the highest attack, but it has good variance. I think it has like 1.0 to 1.6 variance. But here's the cool part: it gets a 50% killer against avian and stone monsters. So again, that's just a nice tool to have in your kit, especially for somebody maybe like Sky. Now you have killers for a different type of boss. So That's interesting. And now this next one, I'm really interested in. The TMR is the Moogle Intuition, which reduces encounters by 50%, restores MP by 8 while walking on exploration maps, and boosts experience from battle by 60%. Now, I'm not really worried about the experience boost, but the reduced chance of encounters 50%, I want that because I actually have a lot of exploration to catch up on as, someone that's blasting through the story. I haven't done the, Madame's Manor. I haven't done the Sura stuff, and then I just haven't done explorations in general. Like, I haven't done very many, so I want to go back and do all of that at some point, and this will definitely make it a little less painful to do that. But then otherwise, he is going to be I believe an ice and a wind buffer and imbuer, and do some, your general attack, defense, magic, and spirit buffs, and that's all fine. But of course, we have Aerith, who's going to be doing it all better. So you would go to him for the elemental specific stuff. Just one new VC this week. It's a Love for All Time, and this is going to be a really cool animation when we get to see it in game. And this card is really cool as well because it has a attack and magic 100 at boost at level 10, right? So that's already like great. So you can equip this on many different units. It has LB damage boost for everybody. It has attack and magic boost for everybody. And then if you're an FF6 unit, you also get a flat stat boost to attack, defense, magic, and spirit by 300. So again, this is going to be such a flexible card, especially for FF6 units, and it's going to be the best one for a lot of them because it has that flat stat boost that they might not be getting somewhere else. So really cool. Again, there seems to be lots of reasons to pull on Celes, even if you don't necessarily need her. If you're big on FF6, then it just supports the whole archetype, which is very cool. Then we have the event dungeon Zozo, and I'm so excited about this. I hope they have the music fixed for this one, unlike Final Fantasy VII, where it took a while to get it going, because this is one of my favorite themes in Final Fantasies. So definitely really excited to do this. And then we have Assassin Shadow, who got his Neovision Awakening a while ago, and then he comes back again, and he's very useful because of the different skills that he gets, and like the provoking and stuff and the evasion. So definitely a good new player unit, and I think there's supposed to be buffs with him that we don't know if they're coming yet or not, but if you're a new player, this is a really good unit for you to build, so definitely look into this. And then there's going to be some quests that we can do for this that will give us all sorts of rewards and stuff, and then I guess it is a King Mog event, so we can get some equipment from it as well. So more King Mog right after the super duper long FF7 one, but you know what? I'm okay with that. They're pretty easy to farm. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the ultimate Chronicle battle to end all Chronicle battles. It's Ultros, who's the best villain for I did quotations, can't see it on the camera, in Final Fantasy history. So of course, bring your FF6 units to get a buff for your drop rate on this, and then otherwise we're going to be upgrading the Hyper Wrist, which has just an okay attack stat, but then attack 20% on it as well. And then for FF6 units, they can get some killers. So again, that's always, these are really easy to farm. And then we have Ninja Gear, which will give you some fire resist. Again, for FF6 units only, it's going to give you equipment attack and spirit by 25% when you're using a single weapon in one or both hands. So this doesn't jump out to me as being crazy good, but it's nice to get these little stat capping things on equipment so that you can free up materia slots. And again, the +3 items are really, really easy to farm, so this isn't a big deal at all. Of course, we're going to have the unit intro quest, and these are fine, right? You get to see the unit in action, and I think they're get to see the CG limit burst. That's always really fun, and then it's one more chance for Gumi to just rope you in to pull for the unit. Don't forget that we are going to have the equipment update, and everything's going to get unequipped. So please update your friend units, or you're probably going to get unadded by a bunch of people. Okay, so we also have the after party login bonus, which looks really good. So some 10+ ones, we're getting some NVEX tickets. That's all great. But then, and there's a lot of tickets, by the way. This is going on for 21 days. But then at the very end, if you stick around, we're going to get a ton of Lapis. So there's a Lapis 1000 up here, 500, 1000 down here. They end on 100, which is really weird. But then 20 STMR tickets right there. This is just a solid login bonus for sure. Definitely appreciated. We're of course going to get the regular login bonus too. So we're going to get some fragments for Celes. And I don't think that there's any other fragments. It would be really cool for them to put shadow fragments in here, but I guess maybe this time they'll be buyable reliable from the King Mog event. So we're also going to get our weekly 10+1 one guaranteed 5-star or Neo Vision that also comes with a Neo Vision EX ticket, one of the 1 out of 10 tickets. So this is cool because this goes on for 10 weeks. So lots of free summons, great time for people to join the game and re-roll using this as one of their methods for re-rolling. So very excited for this. Hopefully it includes Sephiroth and I can just pull, you know, like 6 Sephiroths or something, you know, just no big deal. Now there's one more trap that we have to talk about that's going to be in the exchange shop for the Celes banner, and that is some of these TMRs that they've put here, because these are going to be helping some players get to that elemental resist, or that, you know, look, for example, we have the Scoochin here from FFT that's going to give you some fire, ice, lightning, water, wind, earth, light, dark resistances by 20%. And then there's also the Barrier Master down at the bottom there that's going to give you a bunch of resists, and then the Hairpin of Purity that will give you all your status ailments resist as well. It's no surprise that these are in here because we just had the the Clash of the Wild, Clash of the Will. Sorry about that. That is you need to get these status ailments resisted. You need to get your elemental resistances up as well. So look at your account, look at your 5-star select tickets. If you can get some of these TMR, STMRs, whatever, yourself without having to spend summon coins on them, that's great. If you're summoning and like you have coins and that's like how you've allocated them, then that's great. But don't pull for these, like, just unless that's absolutely a good call for your account, and you can use like the, you know, come on the Discord and ask us, or you could go on the daily help thread and ask there. But don't get roped into pulling if you're really not interested in the units. If you're just trying to get these, I don't think that's going to be worth it. All right, and finally, we're going to talk about the letter from the operations team, because there's a lot to unpack here. So first of all, this is following up on the letter that we had a little while ago to talk about some of the things that people were concerned about, right? Like, and I'm not saying complaining about, because there was legitimate concerns about skipped upgrades, things like skipped units, story events, and so on. So they did a little communication earlier, and then now this is a formal communication through the app. And this is one of the concerns, was that the FFBE team wasn't communicating with us. So first off, right off the bat, super happy, right? This is awesome to see this in the game. So credit where credit's due. Thank you for more communication. That's something we asked for. Okay. So they're going to give us further details about the special present campaign to show our appreciation for veteran players. So starting on September 2nd, they're going to give us some summon tickets based on the total number of days a player is logged in from the beginning of FFBE until the 2nd of September. So I'm in the first tier here, the 365 days or fewer. I get 3 player appreciation summon tickets. Now, if you've been playing since, a very long time, you get 15 of these tickets, that's the max. And then if you've been playing since day 1, you also get 10 Neo Vision summon tickets, so you get 1 Neo Vision summon. That's pretty cool. So already there's outrage online. 15 tickets, blah, blah, blah. We don't even know what they do yet. What if that's 15 10 pulls with like a guaranteed rainbow on it? What if it's better than that? What if it's worse than that? We just don't know. So the fact that they're undefined and people are like seriously taking issue with it, that's pretty ridiculous to me. I understand the frustration about other things, but like that's where the Reddit turns to, like, what this was a thread on Reddit, and most of the comments are complaining, and that's kind of crappy. Just because it's like, okay, well they did do what we asked. Like a lot of, like, they're, even if they're not taking the direction that we want, they're definitely listening and they're responding. So it's good. Oh, sorry, I should have put my white plate mail on. Okay, so otherwise, they're going to give us some transparency in the operation direction of FFBE Global. So they talk about, Global, JP, they're not the same game, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of us follow the JP game to figure out what's going to happen in Global. So they need to communicate more clearly on their intent and their plans for content that's going to be released in Global. So concerning the NVA unit Zyle, who was a 4-star unit, we did not get an NVA 4, and apparently is quite useful. So we chose to skip Zyle's awakening in order to focus more of our resources into implementing new global content and other modifications. However, after listening carefully to the community, we will be putting priority on implementation of such units in future scheduling. In rare cases, which it may not be again possible for us to release certain units, we will also try to communicate such intent to the community as clearly as possible. So we're not getting Xyle, at least this seems to me like we're not getting Xyle, and that's a bummer. They're going to try to give us these types of units in the future, but also they're going to try to communicate to us when it doesn't happen. And I really do, again, if they follow through on that, if they follow through on communicating, then that's huge. And while people might not be happy when we get future communications that say this isn't coming, I still, again, I really hope that's what happens. Okay. Then we have discuss community concerns with story events. That's what they're going to talk about next. Story events, such as the events for Daisy and Poppy. These decisions were made, they were skipped, similar to Xyle's MVA, because they wanted to work on global content. We get Clash of Wills, we get global first and exclusive units, these special and not trials, but like harder fights, like we got for Napi, like we got for Cacteria. So there's some cool stuff that we do get. But the story events. Now I'm gonna preface this and say I am one of those story players. I've read every single bit of story. I read the side quest story. I do the story events. I'm in season 3 right now, and by the way, I'm enjoying season 3. You had to get through some character introduction and building, and then it gets pretty interesting, to be honest. So I'm big on story. So they're not going to implement the stories that they've skipped, and it sounds like they may skip future stories, and instead they're going to do a campaign where they're going to give us 5,000 lapis during these campaigns for a total of 30,000 lapis spread across 6 similar special campaigns. So is that 6 story events that they're going to skip? Maybe, I don't know. So there's a few concerns that people brought up here. One, people say, okay, well, the monthly allotment of lapis that they plan out will just be adjusted, so we're actually getting the same lapis as usual, but then, this is just part of it. But the same thing would have happened if the story events came out, so is there actually a difference there? I don't think there is, right? Like if they did give us the story events, wouldn't they have just adjusted the monthly lapis so that it was the same as usual? So if they do that, then again, I don't think that would have been a big deal. If they don't do that, then yay, bonus lapis. So that's not a concern to me. The other concern people are having is that they're really upset that we're not going to get the lore and the stories that that JP got. And I agree with that on the basis that I love story events and I like to read the story and lore and stuff. I'm really into that. However, it's just so crazy that I read a lot on Reddit, but I don't comment very much on Reddit. So since I joined the game in December, I've been reading on Reddit, and I would say, in my opinion, the overwhelming thing that I've seen is people always asking for more lapis. We need story digest, we need this, so we get more lapis, more lapis, more lapis. And then as soon as Gumi says, okay, well, here, we're going to give you more lapis, everyone's like, screw that. I don't care about lapis. I need the story. The story is the only thing that matters to me. This game's a story game, and that's why I play the game. And I'm like, okay, well, I agree with a lot of people because I also like story, but it's just the way that it's coming out on Reddit, and I need to just stop reading Reddit, I think, is what and because I know that there's people that are sincere that are mixed in with people that are just whiners. There's a mix of them, right? There's people that will always complain no matter what, but what I'd like to see is a few people giving credit where credit's due and then voicing their concern. Because I think that's nice, to say okay, and some people did this. I appreciate the communication. I think that's cool. If they keep their word and continue to communicate, then boom, that's going to be really great, and that gives us more opportunities to specifically voice our concerns per communication. But if you just come out with a ridiculous complaint, then I don't think that's constructive or helping the game. So, okay. Cool. I'm gonna take my white knight armor off, put it over there, and we're gonna get out of here. So thank you so much for watching. Maybe I should have done 2 videos. Maybe I should have done a response to the letter video and a news video, but whatever. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next one. And then until then, we can catch up in the comments. You can join me on Discord in my FFBE channel. All right. And yeah, that's it.